containers matter a lot. It's not perfect, but I think it says something to people in our field and maybe more generally leadership fields. If you're intending to take on the difficult things, you must give attention to the quality of that relational container with one another. So for me, let me pull it down because, in the example of the Texas University people, it's true that we invoke and invite a pretty deep field of learning there. But people are not showing up for the personal retreat. This is not 5 days of meditation and some of that deeper internal work. Now, we touch those things because I think we're supposed to in those places. We're supposed to point just a little bit. And usually in a group of 30 or 35, there's going to be 5, 6, or 7 that are already in that deep inner work, and they just riff off of it. They just play off of it. Yummy, right? It matters to create containers. And so I find that in, let's say, all of the work that I'm involved in, when I get to be facilitator Tenneson, and who brings a little poetry along the way that maybe creates some of that good container also, we're starting with the relational. We're so often inviting people to bring an object that means something to them in the best of their leadership. Now tell us a little story, or tell your neighbor a little story. And then sometimes we do those speed date questions. What are you excited about in being here? Is there anything you're nervous about in being here? Like, we're just giving a lot of permission and an early encounter to interact with one another. There's some, as you know, there's some like deep principles that go with things like that. One of them for me is, it comes really, or I associate it with Christina Baldwin, Circle Way. Christina Baldwin is, you can't hate someone whose story you know, or the shortest distance between two people is a story. Well, if we're going to do the deep hard work, sometimes I think we need the spaces and the process methodologies that enable us to create the relationships to be in those things. That's been my experience, and it's been my my orientation to how do we pick up the dangerous things.